So I just found out I'm pregnant, which should be impossible because my husband got a vasectomy 3 years ago. Except here's the thing that's literally destroying my entire world right now. He never actually got the vasectomy. He lied. For 3 years he's been lying to my face, and I only found out because I'm sitting here staring at two pink lines that shouldn't exist. Let me back up because this whole situation is so messed up I can barely process it. My husband Jake and I have been together for 8 years, married for 5. We have 2 kids, a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, and after our second was born, we both agreed we were done having children, like completely done. 2 kids was our limit, our family felt complete, and honestly, my second pregnancy was rough. Really rough. I had severe complications, spent time in the hospital, and my doctor straight up told me that another pregnancy could be seriously dangerous for me. So we discussed birth control options, and Jake volunteered to get a vasectomy. He said it made sense since it was more permanent, and I'd already been through 2 pregnancies and childbirth. I was on board, obviously. It felt like the responsible thing to do, and I appreciated that he was willing to do this for our family and for my health. He scheduled the appointment, took the day off work, and I drove him there. I waited in the parking lot while he went in for the procedure. He came out about an hour later, walking a little carefully, and we went home. He recovered on the couch for a few days. I took care of him, brought him ice packs, the whole 9 yards. He even went back for his follow-up appointments. At least, that's what he told me he was doing. Everything seemed normal. We waited the recommended time. He told me his sperm count tests came back clear. And we went back to our regular intimate life without any additional birth control. For 3 years, everything was fine. I never questioned it. Never had a reason to doubt him. Why would I? This was my husband, my partner, the father of my children. We'd made this decision together. Then last month I started feeling off. Exhausted, nauseous, my chest was sore. At first I thought I was just getting sick or maybe it was stress. I'm 32. I've got 2 young kids, I work full-time. Being tired is basically my default state. But the symptoms kept getting worse, and then I realized I was late. Like, really late. I bought a pregnancy test on my lunch break, mostly just to rule it out because there was no way, right? My husband had a vasectomy. Vasectomies are like 99% effective. The chances of this happening were basically 0. I took the test in my work bathroom, fully expecting to see 1 line so I could figure out what was actually wrong with me. 2 lines, clear as day. I literally stood there staring at it for like 10 minutes, my brain just completely unable to process what I was seeing. I took 3 more tests that day, all positive. I made an emergency appointment with my doctor, and she confirmed it. I'm definitely pregnant, about 8 weeks along. My first thought, I'm not gonna lie, was panic about the pregnancy itself given my medical history. But my second thought, the one that hit me like a truck, was, how is this possible? Vasectomies can fail, but it's incredibly rare, and Jake had confirmed that his follow-up tests were clear. The doctor said that spontaneous reversal is possible, but extremely unlikely, especially 3 years out. She suggested that Jake come in for a sperm count test to see what happened, whether the vasectomy had somehow failed or reversed itself. I went home that day feeling completely overwhelmed, scared about my health, confused about how this happened, but still trusting that there was some medical explanation. When I told Jake that night that I was pregnant, his face went completely white. Not surprised white, not confused white, guilty white, and that's when I knew something was wrong. I asked him point blank, "Did something happen with your vasectomy? Did it fail?" He couldn't look at me, just sat there on the couch, staring at his hands, and I felt my entire stomach drop. I asked him again, my voice shaking, what happened with the vasectomy? And that's when he finally admitted it. He never got it. He never had the procedure done at all. I literally couldn't breathe. I asked him what he meant, and he explained that when I dropped him off that day 3 years ago, he sat in the waiting room for a few minutes, then panicked and left. He walked around the block until enough time had passed, then came back to the car. He faked the recovery, lied about the follow-up appointments, made up the test results. Everything. For 3 years, he's been lying to me every single day. I completely lost it. I was screaming at him, crying, asking him why he would do this, how he could lie to me about something so serious. And his explanation? He said he got cold feet. He said he couldn't go through with it because what if something happened to one of our kids and we wanted to have another baby? What if we changed our minds later? He said he thought it was too permanent and he just couldn't do it. But here's what makes me absolutely furious. He had 3 years to tell me the truth. 3 years where he could have been honest, where we could have discussed his concerns and figured out a different birth control solution together. Instead, he let me believe I was protected when I wasn't. He made a unilateral decision about my body, my health, my reproductive choices. He took away my ability to make informed decisions about my own life. I asked him if he understood that another pregnancy could literally be dangerous for me. Did he remember what my doctor said after our second kid was born? Did he care at all about my health and safety? And he just kept saying he was sorry, that he didn't think it would actually happen, that he thought the odds were low enough that it would be fine, like this was just some casual gamble and not my actual life and well-being. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the level of deception here. This wasn't a one-time lie. This was an ongoing, deliberate, sustained deception that lasted for 3 years. He looked me in the eye every single day and maintained this lie. He let me believe something that wasn't true, something that directly affected my health and safety. I don't even know who this person is. The man I married wouldn't do this. Or at least, I didn't think he would. Now I'm sitting here, 8 weeks pregnant with a baby I never wanted and didn't plan for, facing potential serious health complications, and I don't know if I can ever trust my husband again. Like, how do you come back from this? How do you rebuild trust after someone lies to you about something this massive for this long? And the pregnancy itself, God, I don't even know what to do. I'm pro-choice. I support every woman's right to make her own decisions. But I've never been in this position before. My 2 kids were planned and wanted. This is different. I'm scared for my health. I'm scared of what another pregnancy might do to my body. My doctor is concerned too. She's already talking about high-risk monitoring and the possibility of serious complications. But at the same time, I'm 8 weeks along. I can see the ultrasound pictures, and it's not like I don't want kids in general. I love being a mom. I love my 2 children more than anything. It's just that we decided we were done. We made that choice as a couple, and I thought that choice was being protected. I feel like I can't make a clear decision about this pregnancy because I'm so angry and betrayed that I don't know what I actually want versus what I'm feeling because of Jake's lies. Jake keeps apologizing, saying he'll support whatever decision I make about the pregnancy, but how am I supposed to trust anything he says now? He says he'll actually get the vasectomy this time if I want him to. Cool, great, only 3 years too late and after I'm already pregnant. He says he understands if I need space, if I want him to leave for a while. He's trying to be supportive now, but it feels hollow, because where was this honesty and support 3 years ago? My best friend thinks I should leave him. She says this level of lying about something that affects my bodily autonomy is unforgivable. Part of me agrees with her. But another part of me thinks about our kids, our life together, the 8 years we've built. Is this marriage ending? Can therapy fix this? Should I even want to fix this? I haven't told anyone else yet. Not our families, not our other friends. I don't know how to explain this situation without everyone immediately hating Jake, and maybe that's what should happen. But he's still my kid's father. I'm so angry at him, I feel so betrayed. But I also keep thinking about how this will affect our children if we split up. The worst part is, I keep replaying the last 3 years in my head, looking for signs I missed. Were there other lies? What else has he been dishonest about? Every memory now feels tainted. All those times we were intimate, and I felt safe and protected, thinking we'd taken care of birth control permanently, he knew the truth. He knew I was at risk. He knew and said nothing. I've been sleeping in the guest room for the past week. I can barely look at him. When I do, I just feel this overwhelming sense of betrayal and anger. He's trying to act normal around the kids, but they can tell something's wrong. Our 6-year-old asked me yesterday why Daddy looked so sad. What am I supposed to say to that? Your dad lied to Mom about something really important and now everything is messed up? I have an appointment with a high-risk OB next week to discuss my options and what a third pregnancy would look like given my medical history. I need all the information before I can make any decisions. Jake asked if he could come with me, and honestly, I don't want him there. I don't want his presence in the room while I'm trying to have serious conversations about my health and my choices. But he is technically the father, and maybe he should hear firsthand from the doctor about the risks he exposed me to. I've also started looking into therapists, both for individual counseling and couples counseling if we even get to that point. I need help processing this because I feel like I'm drowning. The betrayal, the pregnancy, the health concerns, the decision I have to make, the impact on my kids, the future of my marriage. It's all too much to handle on my own. Some people might say I'm overreacting, that men get cold feet about vasectomies all the time, that it's not that big of a deal. But those people don't understand what it's like to have your bodily autonomy violated like this. He made a choice about my body without my knowledge or consent. He gambled with my health. He took away my right to make informed decisions about birth control and family planning. That's not just cold feet. That's a fundamental violation of trust and respect in a marriage. I've also been thinking about the practical implications. If I decide to continue this pregnancy, I'll need extensive medical care and monitoring. My last pregnancy landed me in the hospital. What if this one is worse? What if something happens to me? We have 2 young children who need their mother. Jake's lie didn't just potentially put me at risk, it potentially put our entire family at risk. And if I decide not to continue the pregnancy, that's a whole different emotional journey that I never thought I'd have to take. Either way, I'm facing difficult medical procedures and emotional trauma because of his deception. There's no good option here. Every path forward is hard and painful, and it's all because he couldn't be honest with me. I keep asking myself if I would have done anything differently 3 years ago if he'd told me the truth. If he'd said, "Hey, I'm having second thoughts about the vasectomy. Can we talk about this?" Absolutely, I would have understood. We could have discussed his concerns. Maybe we would have done a different form of birth control, or maybe I would have had my tubes tied instead. Or maybe we would have worked through his fears together and he would have gone through with it. The point is, we would have made the decision together as partners. That's what marriage is supposed to be. But he didn't give me that chance. He took the choice away from me and made a unilateral decision that affected both of us, but especially me. And now we're dealing with the consequences of his cowardice and dishonesty. I don't know what's going to happen with my marriage. I don't know what decision I'm going to make about this pregnancy. I don't know how to co-parent with someone I don't trust. I don't know how to explain this to my kids if things fall apart. I just know that my entire life has been turned upside down because the person I trusted most in the world lied to me for 3 years about something that directly affected my health, my body, and my future. Reddit, I'm not even sure what I'm asking for here. Maybe I just needed to get this out because I feel like I'm going to explode from keeping it all inside. Maybe I need to hear from people who've been through something similar. Maybe I need someone to tell me I'm not crazy for being this angry and hurt. Or maybe I need someone to tell me if there's any path forward from this that doesn't involve blowing up my entire life. Has anyone else dealt with a partner lying about birth control or a vasectomy? How did you handle it? Did your relationship survive? Should it survive? Am I wrong to feel like this is an unforgivable betrayal? Because right now, I'm sitting here 8 weeks pregnant, terrified for my health, furious at my husband, and I have no idea how to move forward. I just know that nothing will ever be the same again. The trust is broken. The safety I felt in my marriage is gone, and I'm left trying to pick up the pieces of a life I thought I had, only to realize it was built on a foundation of lies. I never thought I'd be here. I never thought my husband would be capable of this kind of deception. But here we are, and I have to figure out what comes next, not just for me, but for my kids, and for this unexpected pregnancy that represents the ultimate consequence of his lies. So there it is, my impossible pregnancy that revealed the truth and destroyed everything I thought I knew about my marriage. If you've made it this far, thanks for listening to my complete disaster of a situation. Drop a comment below if you've ever dealt with something like this, or if you have any advice for navigating this nightmare. And if you want to hear more wild Reddit stories that prove truth really is stranger than fiction, hit that subscribe button because trust me, there's always more drama where this came from. Take care of yourselves out there and maybe double-check that your partner actually went through with that vasectomy because apparently that's something we need to verify now.